That's a good one. Okay. All right. Well, well, let's do this shit again. Yep, we don't pass it. Anyway, good morning. Hello. What's up? Welcome. Welcome in. Hello. Hola. What's going on? What up? All right. Well, welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome to. Welcome through the kingdom of the ape. The apostate ape. That's me. And this is the channel where you can watch an undereducated hick from Alabama perform an intellectual takedown of the Christian faith, doctrine, and logic for your entertainment. But also, hopefully, to make the world a little bit better place by combating the ridiculous rise of this ridiculous Christian nationalism, which is basically a bunch of Christians with a bunch of power and a bunch of money who think they have a divine right to make other people's lives miserable. And we, on the right side of history, will not stand for these affronts to freedom and the flourishing of humanity by this evil religion that is Christianity. We keep our voice in the ears of all those that would listen, trying to talk some sense into these mofos. That's why we're here, and that's why we do this. So, here I am to do this. Welcome. What's up? Y'all, don't forget that the best friend of this channel and one of the most brilliant sources of knowledge for scholarly works on the Bible is our best friend, Dr. Joshua Bowen. And he writes awesome books. I do not have one to hold up at the moment because I forgot, but he writes awesome books that help regular old folks like you and I learn ancient languages like Biblical Hebrew, which I learned, which is cool. But he also writes stuff just for scholarly knowledge that's geared explicitly toward combating apologetics, like we do here every day. And Dr. Josh is where I learned a lot of my scholarly knowledge on the Bible. So check him out and support our best friend and his wonderful family at digitalhammurabi.com/Hebrew if you're interested in Hebrew courses. But you can link to all his books there, his scholarly knowledge. He wrote a book on slavery in the Hebrew Bible and stuff, so it's pretty awesome. So make sure you check out digitalhammurabi.com and join us in the knowledge there. What's going on, Amadeus Almighty? What's up, man? That's awesome. I haven't seen him before. That's cool. What up, dog? Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Don't forget also, this October 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City Reason Conference is going down. So if you can, you should come hang out with us because the absolute biggest names in the deconstruction community are going to be there. And it is going to be the best time that a motherfucker's ever had, ever in the history of atheisms. And it's going down 23rd, 24th, and 25th of this October. And if you want to come, you should. And you should get your tickets for that at rocketcityreason.com and come hang out with us. Thank you for the heartbeats, guys. What's up? Good morning, everybody. We jumping on today. I have to admit my heart is not totally in it this morning. But we'll see how it goes though. I ain't took a day off in almost a month, so we got to keep it rolling, man. They out here trying to bring on the wrong sides of history, so we got to be out here bringing on the right side of history, man. We got to stay hollering some of these folks out here because some people just don't care for freedom that much and stuff. So that's why we're here. Anyway, I have no idea if today will go well or not. We will see though. But I don't have super long today anyway, so we can knock out an hour, hour and a half maybe. Then I got a pretty long work day. Tomorrow I should be on of course I'm free on Sundays, so should be on a good while tomorrow morning. But anyway, what kind of message was that? Why would that come on the TikTok screen? Anyway, we are almost 5 minutes into the live, so we are just getting started. Secular church service, you can compare it to that. Be way better than fucking church, though. Ain't gotta put no money in the plate for starters. And there we will be not championing things like slavery and stuff, so it's way better. Prefer reason over faith and stuff. Yeah, you gotta pay to go. All right, 6 minutes. Just hit a whole 6 minutes here. So here in a minute, once the old algorithm gets rubbed a little bit, I'm sure it'll perk up. Bring us in the first guest of the day. I hate when they call Jesus God. It's disrespectful. Is it? He said the cost of the ticket is the time. Oh man, that's fucking funny. Damn. Oh, that's fucking funny. All right. Yeah. Damn. Oh shit. Well, at least I got a laugh this morning. It lifted my mood up quite a lot. Oh well, they funny, ain't they, Cam? Damn. Shit. That's funny. Anyway, alright. Alrighty. Let's see here. Ooh, we're gonna block that guy. Got somebody requesting up with a slur as their very name, so we're gonna go ahead and block them. Don't give a fuck who it is, they're getting blocked. Brett. Well, nobody else lets you up on their shows anymore, Brett. What's going on here, man? Guess the father of modern science has no, I don't know what that means. All right, let's see.
Hello. What?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Oh yeah. Are you like an atheist, or like do you have like different religious beliefs?
No, I'm like an atheist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you want to put the prompt on?
Yeah, do you want the argument for Christianity?
The argument for Christianity?
Yeah, being true.
Sure.
Do you take like deductive arguments to be okay?
I can barely hear you, man. You're going to have to speak up a little bit.
Do you take like deductive arguments to be okay?
Maybe. Hit us with whatever you got.
Okay. Would you say it's possible that like a maximally causally efficacious being could exist?
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. Do you think that it's possible that an entity can like satisfy a property like omnipotence?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Those are weird ass words coming out of your mouth. I can barely hear you anyway. Is that what Christianity is now? They come ask you weird questions like that? Anyway. I don't know. Who knows? Shit. Anyway. Yeah. I have no idea what any of that meant. What the fuck? If you want to prove Christianity, come up here and do a fucking miracle like the Bible says you can do. Quit making excuses. Maybe I'm too bad in a mood to talk to anybody today. So, yeah. For real. Damn. Well, I mean, yeah. Shit. Anyway. I don't even know what I want to do. This is fucking... Oh, shit. Might just be one of those meads. We got Brett and No Degree are the only two people in the request box. Like, holy shit. I should have took today off. I'd probably rather talk to Brett, even though he's more for pain. I don't know if that says much for Brett. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Matt, here's your chance. Show us you got some integrity, man.
No one with integrity should be a Christian. I guess that loving your neighbor as yourself thing, that's a problem, ain't it?
Yeah. You ever read that law in Leviticus?
Yes, multiple times.
Who does it say your neighbor is?
Well, Jesus says even a Samaritan is your
No, I
neighbor.
said who does Leviticus say your neighbor is? Leviticus 19.
Anyone around you.
That's not what it says.
Well, it doesn't
That's why I
specifically
say you need some
specify.
fucking integrity, man, because you come right up here and lie right off the bat.
Well, Leviticus 19 doesn't say who your neighbor is.
Without lies, religion dies. Yes, it
It
does.
doesn't say in Leviticus. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it
Also
does.
says
Yeah, let's read it.
I guess loving
Yeah,
a
we'll read it.
foreigner.
We'll just go read it.
I guess loving a foreigner as yourself in Leviticus 19 is a problem too, ain't it?
It doesn't
Such
say
a
that.
bad verse. Yeah, Leviticus 19 says you should love a foreigner, not oppress them. Love them as yourself. Terrible verses, right?
Yeah. It says,
What about that?
you shall not hate
Loving
in your
your
heart
enemy.
any one of your kin. It says, you shall not hate in your heart any one of your kin. You shall reprove your neighbor, or you will incur guilt yourself. So neighbors are kin. Not it doesn't
Well, you
say
haven't
everyone.
read it all.
I read the part
So
that
it's
says who
about
your
loving
neighbor is, and the rest says you shall not
foreigner
take
as
vengeance or bear
yourself.
grudge against your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. So who did that say your neighbor is?
Well, you have to keep reading.
I already read that part. It says, thou shalt not hate in your heart any one of your kin. You shall reprove your neighbor, or you will incur guilt yourself.
Well, it also says you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
It also says love a foreigner.
Thanks for proving in like 30 fucking seconds you ain't got no integrity. So, anyway. Oh, fuck it. It'll pop up here. Hold on. Hey, Jay, what up? Good morning. No worries. All right, the queue emptied out anyway. Nah, I ain't love. I'm good on talking to No Degree. I'm clearly a liar. This is literally why I made this title, because they absolutely refuse to be honest with this fucking text. Like it's a foreign concept to them. They can't admit what it actually says, which is quite pathetic. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but anyway, never mind. Doesn't matter. Yeah, and I begged you to address the verse that I actually read, but you refused, which proves that you are dishonest. So, God, Jesus, you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I can barely hear you. Can you get a little closer to the mic there?
Oh, yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a little better there. You're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Cool. So what you want to talk about on the prompt here?
Well, I was curious. You said nobody could address the prompt or speak to it. Was there a specific verse you were referring to, or just the text that you put on the screen?
Wait, say that one more time.
I think before I joined, you said that nobody could address the prompt or a specific verse you were mentioning. I was just curious what
No,
you
I
were
was just
talking
talking
about.
about no degree. He wasn't addressing who neighbors were classified as in that verse.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Um,
you can talk about whatever though. You ain't gotta listen to him.
so it says no one with intensity should be a Christian.
It says integrity.
Yeah, no one with integrity should be a Christian.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not true. It can't be. And if
Christianity,
it is
like
true, it's bad. So
the Bible can't be true.
yeah, yeah.
And why can it not be true?
Because there's too many contradictions and anachronisms, which just goes to show it's clearly made up.
Do you have specifics?
Like the birth narrative of Jesus, Jesus fulfilling prophecies, that's all made up.
Well,
He
and,
doesn't
I
fulfill a
find that
single prophecy.
interesting. Yeah, I find that interesting because the Torah, or the Hebrew version before the Bible,
Mhm.
prophesied that Jesus would come and do all the miracles, and then he showed up and did all the
Where?
miracles. What's that?
Where does it prophesy that?
You know what? If I was more educated, I'd tell you, but I'm not that educated.
Is it possible that it's not in there?
It is. Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible.
Right. Yeah, Jesus doesn't fulfill a single one of the prophecies that the New Testament is claiming that he fulfills. And Jesus himself is saying he fulfills prophecy, which aren't even prophecies. He's literally saying one verse is a prophecy that's being fulfilled in him, which is ridiculous.
Well, you know what I
So
find is
it just
weird?
goes to show you they're just making it up. They're lying.
Yeah, you know what I find is weird is um, people who are struggling or going through whatever, if you say Jesus or the name of Jesus or around anybody who's not familiar, not friendly with the idea of Jesus, they freak out. And it's really interesting why that would happen.
What are you talking about? They freak out.
They freak out. They like foam at the mouth, have seizures, cuss, become violent.
Who
And it's
does?
just why would that happen at a specific word? The word being Jesus, Jesus. Why would people from
It
going like
it
walking
don't.
down the street, minding their own business, the word Jesus is heard by them and now they're freaking out, they're violent, they're going crazy.
It never happens. You're making that up.
I'm making it up, dude. There's thousands of YouTube and TikTok videos showing that happens.
So your argument for Christianity is YouTube videos where people foam at the mouth because they heard the name Jesus.
No, I didn't say that. I just said, why does that happen? I asked you a question.
It doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
you're saying it
ridiculous.
doesn't, but there's video evidence of it happening, which makes
Well, okay,
your integrity has now lessened because you're lying.
really,
Those videos do exist. Just because you haven't
really.
watched them doesn't
I'm
mean
sure
they're
there's a video of somebody foaming at the mouth because somebody said Jesus. What I don't believe is it's authentic.
okay. That's fine.
Yeah, you ever heard of movies? People just like act and stuff.
Yeah, we're in a movie right now. We're both on a screen being recorded. We're making a movie
Right,
right now.
right. So how can you show us that Jesus is actually who the New Testament says he is without YouTube videos?
No, all I did was ask you a question. You lied about it. Now you're trying to backtrack. It's fine. Your integrity has already been quashed. I mean, it's
Okay.
already over.
So let's get away from YouTube videos and let's go to the Bible. Show us how Jesus actually fulfills any of these prophecies that the New Testament says he does.
He rose from the dead.
Where's there a prophecy about that?
You know what? You're better off talking to a biblical scholar. I'm not that guy. I'm just telling you
So why are you a Christian?
because I feel like it.
Have you ever bothered to read the Bible?
Huh?
You're a Christian
Yeah,
because you feel like it.
yeah, and I did read the Bible. I don't
That
remember
really
all of it.
speaks to the truth of the religion there, doesn't it?
Dude, we can do. Any human can do whatever they want. Humans have free will. We're allowed to do whatever the hell we want. So I do what I want. I do what I please, and that's
Well,
it.
you're a horrible Christian then, because you're supposed to be doing the will of God, not your will.
I know, but I was given free will, so I'm going to use it.
Doesn't sound like you know.
Yeah.
You don't have free will. As a Christian, you've submitted your will to do the will of God. You've relinquished your will, and now you're supposed to do the will of the Father.
Yeah, it says, I lay down my life, I surrender.
It does say that.
I know it says that, but I'm not worried about all that.
Well, how come you're not doing your Father's will if you're a Christian? It doesn't sound like you signed up for Christianity. It sounds like you just call yourself a Christian.
My Father's will is this world will be destroyed and rebuilt. That's the end all. Revelation says
Your Father's will was to create a world that would be destroyed.
it'll be destroyed, dude. It doesn't matter. This whole thing that we're doing right now is going to go away. It's going to get rebuilt according to Scripture. I don't think that's actually true. I think life just recycles itself on the earth.
This isn't I don't know what your deal is, man, but you ain't no fucking Christian. Like, all right. Oh boy. Let's see here. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Hey, Jason, you there?
Hey, yeah. Morning. How's
What's
it
up,
going?
man? Going good. Are you okay?
Not much. It's funny that I'm scrolling through, right, and I see obviously you're live here, and I say I got to participate because for some reason this morning scrolling TikTok, I guess it's an algorithm thing. I don't know. It just keeps showing me these conversations of Christianity, and is it the truth? Is it not the truth? So let me preface this. I agree with you to begin with. So if you want to talk to somebody and debate, they want me to defend.
Well, are you a Christian or?
I was raised one. I'm no longer one.
Oh, we're just looking to talk to Christians, man. We're just looking for debates.
You want to talk to Christians? That's all?
Yeah, we're just looking for debates, man.
Oh, okay. Got it. So you want to talk to, okay. So not somebody that agrees with you, but I just want to say something before I go. The funny thing is I requested to participate in the conversation a few minutes ago, and I was kicked off the call because it was a call from Christians. This one group that I was raised in that knocks on doors. You know who I'm talking about, and they're like, nope, we're not going to engage with you. If we're not, you're a former, we're not going to get, and just shut me out and kick me out. So
yeah, they don't want to hear it. I've never lasted more than 5 minutes on a Christian live before.
If you're going to be combatant, we don't want to talk to you. So you're so blinded and narrow-minded, and that's all I'm going to say. But I know you want to talk to the other side and have a conversation. But I think it's cool what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All right, so you could pick somebody else to debate because I won't debate you. I'll agree with you.
Good.
Have a great one, man.
Thanks for joining us. You too, man. Thanks for joining us on the right side of history. The side who's against, slavery and stuff. Anyway. All right, where are we at? Good Lord. We're barely 20 minutes into the live. I feel like it's been an hour already. Oh, shit. We're in bad trouble. Stephen, come on up here and let's talk about these prophecies you keep putting on the screen. And I'll show you definitively why Jesus doesn't actually fulfill a single one of those. It doesn't even take long. Ain't that wild? Anyway. Shit. Okay. Hold on. Alright. Well, shit. The queue emptied out. Never mind that. Anyway, Christians, come on up. We're just getting started for the day. So far, there's been a bunch of people requesting up. They died out real quick, but all right. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I can't decide if I messed up going live today or not. Oh shit. Anyway, yeah. So I say that no one with integrity should be a Christian because Jesus doesn't fulfill any prophecies. Even if he did, he's a crappy dude and he's not coming back. And even if he was, God is still a crappy dude and nobody should worship him, even if he exists. And I say that because the Bible doesn't reflect that. It just straight up lies. Therefore, no one with any honesty or integrity who examines this stuff honestly and openly can come to the conclusion that it's true. That's why it's faith-based and not fact-based. Christianity doesn't seem too big on the facts. It's like the one dude said, I'm a Christian because I feel like it. Yeah, of course. Must like slavery. I don't know. Who can say? Who can say? Oh shit. Anyway, I don't know what to expect today, honestly. Engagement this week's been crazy good. I've been to pretty much every day this week with tons of people in the queue and lots of engagement, so I imagine at any moment the queue will just overfloweth. Damn. Big bang. Yeah. Anyway, Sabbaths are a little tougher to call, I think. Good Lord. Okay, jumping through and going quick. Damn. Yeah, I don't know if anybody called us yesterday, but we ran should Christians support Trump or anyone else? I did a sort of political live yesterday. Boy, did I get a motherfucking headache from that shit. Let me tell you. Yikes. Anyway, nobody's requested up in almost a minute now, so might have to change the background or something. This one's usually really good, though. Well, it was really good for the first 20 minutes. I couldn't get rid of everybody. Oh, man. They crash out hard in the comments. They don't even talk to nobody. They come crash out. It's wild. Anyway, if you're a Christian and you want to have the conversation, I realize this is a extremely contentious background here, but certainly there's some Christians out here who can actually honestly defend their faith. Yeah, request on up. Damn. It's the first day in like a week I've had to wait more than 3 minutes to get somebody to talk. Well, we already got somebody to talk to, but all right, hold on a second. This crazy guy's requested up. Let's bring him up. Shit. Hey, crazy guy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, what's up, man?
I was waiting for your other buddy to come up here because I already tried to talk to you. You always run and mute.
Oh, well, it's because you always crash out. You just holler and shit, won't actually engage in a conversation. So.
Well, no, what it is I ask you the commandments and you don't want to listen. See, here we go now. You want to interrupt because you already know
you got to actually stick to the topic. You can't just ramble on and expect somebody to sit here and listen to you.
Well, how many topics are you going to change? The last time we were talking about God. And then I asked you, what's the last commandment? Go ahead and look it up.
It's covet.
Okay, now what is the definition?
What difference? What are we even talking about?
Wow, I knew I'd win. I knew I'd win.
That's what I'm saying. Like you bring up bullshit that nobody even knows what you're talking about.
What's the 10th commandment, you dumb shit? That's what I'm saying. What's the fruit that you're showing now?
Hey, shut your fat mouth for a fucking second.
Run, bitch, run.
Like a good little Chris.
Run, bitch. Make excuses up. Hey, put me on mute, then make your excuse up. Just finish what you got to say, man.
Excuses
so
for what?
Embarrass you.
Whenever you're done crashing out, actually answer the question. What does the 10th commandment got to do with anything?
A lot. Would you have
Like
slaves if you obeyed the 10th commandment? You dumb shit. That's what I'm saying. You fucking faggot. You don't know the last commandment. What's the definition? You stupid bitch.
Hey, what's this say here?
Listen, you stupid bitch. What's the last commandment?
Hey, Mr. Christian. I already told you, you dumb ass motherfucker. Read the screen right here. And the Lord's servant.
Hey, don't get mad because your gayness can't get out of there. Don't get mad.
Hey, ain't nobody mad.
Oh no, you are mad. You wouldn't mute. You wouldn't mute like a bitch.
Calm down, buddy. Calm down, buddy.
Hey, guys, you got to get your word across, right?
Hey, could you use the Holy Spirit to calm down for 2 seconds and read?
What is the Holy Spirit? You don't even know what it is.
Hey,
quit lying.
Read the screen for us here.
I've already asked you. What do you have in your wallet? See, I went over there.
Read the screen for us here, Mr.
I've already went over this before. What do you have in your wallet?
Here, Mr. Christian.
What do you have in your wallet, dude?
Mr. Christian.
What do you have in your wallet, dude?
What do you? I got money in my wallet.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're making yourself a slave? What's the 10th commandment? What's the 10th commandment?
Look how much money I got, Mr. Christian.
Oh, I could go and show you my money
Here's
too.
My fucking wallet.
What does that show? Covetousness. Covetousness.
Yeah, you ain't getting none of this, you fucking baby. Imagine being a Christian and being that mad at the fucking world. Like, if I was a Christian, I probably would be too. But that's what they do. Anyway. Oh. He requested back up. You didn't get enough hollering in there? What the hell's wrong with you? Damn. Wait, let's go to this one actually. Hey, Scavenger, you there?
Yeah, I just came in to say you're both pretty girls. Calm the fuck down.
Okay. Well, get a fucking life, I guess. You can get the fuck on, dude. Alright. Imagine being a Christian and being that fucking mad all the time. Like, what the fuck? Holy Ghost supposed to calm you down. Come up here 3 months ago and ask what the 10th commandment was. Come back today. Like, what the fuck? Fucking idiots. Anyway. Hey, Lord, are you there?
Hey.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'd like to believe. You know, be cool. It's kind of disappointing to think that there's nothingness after. So it's kind of, I mean, kind of. I mean, you know, overall Christianity is a very progressive ideology.
That's just a yes or no question, man.
I think I answered it 4 times for you.
All right. Hey, Common Sense, you there?
Yeah, just don't run again, bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, run. Come on, run. Run again, bitch. Come on, man. Show how much of a coward you really are on your own.
Motherfucker. God damn. I'm going to get on my other account and go yell at him again. I'm going to call him a bitch and see how long it takes him to drop me. Where's this motherfucker at? Let me block this stupid fuck. Tantrums like a fucking child up here. My God. Anyway, I got better things to do. Yikes. Anyway, good Lord. What's up? Yeah, who the fuck would want to go to heaven with these motherfuckers? Like, wild as shit. Anyway. 611. The algorithm's moving freaking hard. Surprised we haven't got more people. Well, actually, there has been a bunch of people. 20-something minutes now that I think about it.
You requested me back?
Apparently.
Okay. Are you going to have a conversation or are you going to get mad and triggered?
I guess. Can you answer a yes or no question?
Well, faith is,
Are you a
hard to
Christian?
have.
Yes or no?
Do you know what faith means?
Are you a Christian? Yes or no?
I said kind of.
All right, that's not a. Get the fuck out of here. What is wrong with these people? Why would you come up here and fucking talk like that? Like, what? What the hell, man? I didn't mean to bring him back up anyway. Kinda. Kinda get the fuck out of here. Like, what does that even mean? Anyway, it's a yes or no question, not an in between. All right, well. Yes, faith is believing in what you know ain't so. That's what faith is. It's believing in something for no reason at all other than you want to believe it. Anyway. Today's rough so far. It's a good name. Hey, Faith, you there? Hello, Faith, right out? I think they're, whoever that is, ain't here on purpose, I don't think. Anyway, that's what faith is right there. It's a motherfucker snoring. Ugh, might not be in the proper mood for this today. Maybe the one guy wasn't so bad. That was just being corny or crabby today. I don't know. Anyway, kinda is not an acceptable answer to me today. Not today. It is exhausting. I say it all the time, man. Like, I don't know. Like, in a way, I enjoy doing this, but not every fucking day. It's hard to listen to this shit every day. Motherfuckers come up here hollering, "Run, bitch! Run, bitch! Run, bitch!" That's fucking not interested in talking to these goddamn children. Fucking goddamn idiots. It's hard, man. It's a hard job to do. It's a hard job to do, but every now and then we actually have some decent conversations and shit, and maybe help humanity out once in a while. I guess you gotta wade through the endless sea of utter morons to get there, though. So I guess that's just what it is. But anyway, too many people joining that team every day, so we got to stay up here and do what we can, man. I guess it's I'm not the hero you asked for. I'm the hero you deserved. Christians. We'll put it like that shit. Yeah. Thanks, guys. It's hard. It is hard. Although some days, I don't know, my mood just changes from day to day, I guess. Like, some days I'm like, well, every once in a great while, I'm like kind of ready to go, like hopped up, and then other times I'll sit here and look at the screen for about 5 minutes before I actually turn it on. Like, all right. It's like, all right, here we go. Let's listen to people tell us how great slavery and shit is. It's a wild existence out there, but we gotta do what we can. We gotta do what we can. We can't let a bunch of Christian smationalists try to make everybody else's life miserable without doing anything, can we? What is... Oh, I was wondering why my thing keeps landing. I had tension on my little phone charger here. It was pulling it down. I couldn't do it. Anyway. Yeah, and it's a cute story out there, Christians, that y'all are commanded to love people. Like, imagine being commanded to love somebody. Wow. That's what the hardly ever let Matt up here, but I let him up here. He says, "Oh, look, ain't that great being commanded to love somebody." It also says you can enslave them. Motherfucker. Damn. Well, you can make up your own Jesus, but the Jesus in the Bible's certainly pro-slavery. It's a piece of crap. So it's a racist, child-killing punk's what Jesus is. Fucking cult leader. Anyway, the algorithm, I mean, it's still moving, so. What's his name? Hey, Shane, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? You're a Christian, ain't you?
No, I don't have a religion, but I have a relationship with God. A great
Oh,
relationship with God.
oh, cool. So please, for the love of all things sacred, prove this prompt wrong.
I'm sorry. We said I don't understand what you said. I didn't hear you, brother.
I was just saying, prove the prompt wrong if you want.
No. I was hearing what you're saying. I did my my studies with history, especially Black history. And I've learned the truth about a lot of things. Because when you say God allowed slavery, well, let's take it back. Then you got to understand, if you're talking about slavery as far as Black folks, us. First of all, our own peoples enslaved us and auctioned us off to America. And when that was going on back in those days, it wasn't hard slavery. It was like people just working, and they had plantations, but they were taken care of very well. That the crazy stuff.
You're telling me slaves in the antebellum South were well taken care of?
Well, let's talk about what part of slavery are we talking about? In America? Or
Hold on, is that what you just said?
No, that's not what I said. I'm trying to figure out what part of slavery.
Sure sounded like it was what you said.
Okay, you got to let a person finish though, brother, so you can understand what's going on. Now I'm trying to figure out.
I'm just asking for some clarity there.
Okay, what slavery are we talking about? America slavery, or are we talking about
chattel? Yes, chattel slavery, owning people as property.
And history, the truth of it, the bad slavery part, the hanging, the lynching, and all that crazy shit, that didn't start happening until after slavery. And they wasn't called slaves back then in America. They were actually called helpers. Slaves came in when the owners got mad that the slaves were being released. That's when all the lynching and the burning. So that's true history. That's what happened. So when you start saying God allowed slavery, God would never allow the way you're talking. No, God didn't allow that. He let them know, yeah, you can beat them. But if you killed them, back in those days, it was crazier. You got to understand, we're talking about different time frames. There was no straight 8 slaves and everybody. That's how it was back in those days. Everybody was a slave. White people were slaves. So you got to be careful when you blame God for something that he didn't do or authorize. You can get in trouble for that when you die, man. I just came to give you that message. You got to get your shit straight when you blame God now.
All that disgusting gibberish that just fell out of your mouth is completely bogus.
Nah, brother. What you're saying is bogus.
Do you know what chattel slavery is, sir?
Okay, explain it to me, brother, so I can understand.
Chattel slavery is owning people as property.
No, back in those days, you got to get your facts
so you
right
don't
now.
know what chattel means, do you?
Okay, now that I know. So now hey, listen, I'm not going to act like I know everything, but I am going to act like that I know.
I'm going to put it on the screen so we're not mistaking anything here.
No, we're not mistaking anything. I just want to let you know that.
Here's the lawful definition of chattel: an article of movable personal property. An enslaved human being is considered to be property. Do you agree with that?
Back in those days, the way they had it set up.
Do you agree with this or not?
No. I first of all, bro, I don't agree with that. I don't think.
So you don't agree with the definition of the word chattel?
No. I got you. I heard you. But that's not what happened.
Is chattel being owned people as property or not?
Well, you gave me the definition. If that's what it means, yes. But
that's the definition of chattel. That's what it means.
But you're taking
people as property. Right?
Okay, brother. All right.
Right?
Yes, I guess that's what that means.
Okay,
yes.
So in the Bible, when it says you can own people as property, it's literally covering the definition of chattel slavery, the same as the antebellum South.
No. It's completely different from the 1600s. You talking about the
Oh,
1600s,
okay.
man?
So in the Bible, when it says you can own people as property and give them to your children as inherited property, it
It
doesn't
doesn't say
actually mean
that. That's
property.
false.
It
It
does
doesn't
say
say
that.
that. Give it to.
It
No, it
does say
doesn't. Show
that.
me. Show
Yes,
me.
it does.
All right, put it up on your
Okay.
screen. Put it
As
up
for
on
the
your
male
screen.
and female, as for the
Let me.
male and female, I can't put it on the screen.
Oh, well,
My
then don't
phone's
talk about
fixed.
it. If everybody can't see it, don't talk
Hey,
about
do
it.
you have a Bible, Sheen? Do you have a Bible?
I have one, but I don't feel like digging in it. I have to
Well,
go
then
dig
stop
for it.
calling me a liar when I try
I'm
to read
not
it to
calling
you,
you a
or either
liar.
turn to the fucking book and quit
Bro,
being a
now you're
piece of
being
shit.
disrespectful. See, you what they
Yeah,
talk
because
about.
you're
But you
you're
what
being
they talk
intellectually
about. You
dishonest here,
getting
and it's
upset
pissing
for
me
no
off.
reason, brother. You
Well,
getting
I don't
upset for
feel
no
like digging the
reason.
Bible out. I'll come up here and talk about it and call him a liar, but I don't feel like digging my Bible out. Fuck you, man. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of these motherfuckers. Dishonest fucking lazy motherfuckers. Anyway.
Hello.
Hey, hello. Are you a Christian new guest?
Yes, I am.
Cool. So, you want to prove the prompt wrong, please?
Well, I actually agree with this prompt. I think that it definitely 100% glorifies and condones slavery and injustice. But I will say this: I think that a lot of people look for these books and religions because that they feel it within themselves that they need guidance and they need something to look forward to beyond being deceased. So I don't necessarily live in like a religious psychosis, but I do believe that the Bible has a lot of good moral value in some instances, but I don't take everything, so literally. And I think that a lot of people
Wait,
shouldn't take it.
you said you're a Christian, right?
Yes.
So you knowingly joined a religion that you know
Well, not
glorifies and
knowingly.
condones slavery and injustice?
No, actually, it was something that was imposed on me based off of like being born into it. I have an uncle that's a pastor. All my
Yeah,
family
but
went
you don't
to
have to
Baptist
like
church.
stay in it. Like if you know it's bad, you can just leave.
Right. Well, I don't actually actively don't go to church anymore, but I do take the values of like, thou shalt not this, thou shalt not that. I mainly use the Ten Commandments as moral direction rather than taking the Bible as like, and living my life by that. But I
So do you
will
keep
just
the
say,
Sabbath holy?
no, I do not.
Oh, so you don't keep the Ten Commandments?
What? That's in the Ten Commandments?
Yeah.
Oh, I more so just think about thou shalt not smell, thou shalt not
Uh,
lie,
so you keep like
stuff like
five of
that.
the Ten Commandments.
Yes, those things. Yeah, the first
All right.
five I'm down with. But
All
yeah, no,
right.
I
Well, I ain't
appreciate you
got
for
no
letting me in
quarrel with
here.
you, man. If you know slavery's in there, but you're still against it, you're not
Yeah,
really
I'm
wrong.
against it. Thank you.
No, no problem. What in the world, man? Anyway, Spency and then Homie. Spency, you're not loading in for some reason. Grab some Wi-Fi or something and come back here. All right, Homie's next, and then Dirty something. Hey, Homie, you there?
What's up with it, Apostle 8?
Apostate ape.
Apostate 8. Well, how your day going?
It's all right. Thanks for asking, man. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Cool. So you want to prove the prompt wrong?
Yes. Where does it, how does, can I ask you a question first, or you want me to just go in?
No, you can ask. What's up?
How does Christianity 100% glorifies, condone slavery and injustices?
It's in the Bible. You can own slaves.
Hmm?
It's in the Bible. It's
Yeah,
permitted in the Bible.
but that's Old Testament, and that was the old world. So basically,
Well,
people were
Jesus
slaves.
talks about slaves too. It's in the New Testament too.
What scripture?
There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch Jesus talks about slaves. He tells all kind of stories using slaves as examples. Like in Luke 12:47, he says that slave who knew what his master wanted but did not prepare himself or do what was wanted will receive a severe beating.
That's a fair punishment. Yeah, he was giving an analogy for how we should submit to God. But
That's Jesus talking about how hard you beat a slave.
Slaves in the Bible, there was many reasons in Israel. It wasn't promoting slavery, it was putting rules and regulations on it because people
Yeah,
became
it was
slaves.
saying you can beat them as long as they don't die within a day, and you can own
People became
slaves.
people became slaves for many reasons. People became slaves before because I won't even use slave. I say initial service, but people became slaves because they was poor. They had nowhere else to like feed themselves. They owed debt, and they
Well, Leviticus actually forbids indentured servitude, but it allows you to own people as property, as chattel slaves.
wait. What scripture is that?
So you got it backwards, huh?
What scripture was that?
Leviticus 25:39. If any who are dependent on you become so impoverished that they sell themselves to you, you shall not make them serve as slaves. They shall remain with you as hired or bound work laborers. So it's forbidding you to make someone serve as a slave who's trying to sell themselves to you.
I mean, maybe it was for maybe that was the rule, but it was putting rules and regulations on the slavery. Like it wasn't.
No, it was allowing slavery. It was saying you can beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was Old Testament. That was the old world. You feel me?
It's in the New Testament too. The Bible never condemns slavery one time, and it doesn't even suggest the condemnation of slavery.
Yeah, but it did put rules on how the slave masters could treat them.
I know it says you can beat them as long as they don't die within a 24-hour period. It says you can fuck them. That's how you treat them.
What scripture was that? It's Deuteronomy.
Exodus 21.
Exodus 21.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't think it condones it. I feel like it was more so, but
I have no idea how you've read this book and you come up with it don't condone slavery when it clearly says you can own slaves as property and pass them on to your children as property, and you can take the women and children as captives in war. You can force them to marry you. It says you can sell your daughter as a sex slave. I mean, like,
it was talking to
this is clearly
it was talking to the Israelites when it said that.
Yeah. That's who God gave the laws to.
Yes, Israel.
Yeah, and God said all these laws are good and right in his sight. They are just, and you will do them all the days that you live on this earth. So God says all these laws are good.
But when Jesus came, no, all the laws got fulfilled, but the only laws that mattered was the moral law, not the other laws, only the moral one.
Where does it say that?
That was just a Christian understanding.
Well, it doesn't say that. You might understand it that way, but it never says that.
He said he came not to abolish the laws, but fulfill it.
Fulfilling's keeping the law.
So do you think that we can't wear we can't touch pigskin and we can't wear certain cloths and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be.
Yeah. Majority of those laws was meant for Israel.
No, it was meant for everybody. When the new covenant is formed, even foreigners who want to join themselves to the Lord are welcomed into the covenant. So either way, you got to keep these laws to get to God.
Keep his laws. Okay, I'm gonna follow you, and I'm gonna come back to you on another day.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Yeah, read up on it. Then you can come back and tell us your journey to atheism. Shit, he's gonna be real disappointed. Whew. All right, let's see. What happened? Oh, guess it didn't load in. Hey, guest, are you
Yeah,
there?
what's up? Yeah, what's up? Can you just call me B? Yeah, I'm Christian.
Gotcha. So, you want to put the prompt on, B?
Yeah, first, I think to prove something
hold on,
wrong,
man. I got some
you have to
really loud background noise going on.
Here, I can just move to a different area.
Yeah,
1 second.
please. That's loud as hell.
hear me now?
Yeah. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I think first, to disprove the prompt, I have to define what slavery is. Now, slavery is just the ownership of another person as property, usually for labor purposes.
Yeah.
And so I think we both know that it existed for a very long time. But the first mention of slavery comes from Genesis chapter 9, when Noah cursed his grandson Canaan. And that's where you have the lowest of the slaves will be his brothers, and Canaan be the slave of Shem. And that came about because Canaan's father, who was Ham, offended Noah by seeing his father naked and then telling his brothers about it, which is disrespectful, right? I think there's other early biblical texts that mention slavery, slaves and slavery. The earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia had slavery, um, and things like that. But
Are you backing up
we,
that it
we,
has slavery or trying to disprove it?
well, I'm just proving that it condones slavery in the sense that you're referring to.
Oh,
But
okay.
what the Old Testament says about slavery beyond the Israelites, for example, rising up against their slave masters and escaping Egypt, slavery was a negative experience. Exodus chapter 2, verse 23, they groaned in their slavery and they cried out. But slaves were to be treated well, according to Leviticus chapter 25, verse 39 through 40. And the laws permitted Israelites to sell themselves into slavery by
And
other
Leviticus actually
Israelites.
forbids debt slavery and allows chattel slavery.
No, the law permitted Israelites to sell themselves into slavery by other Israelites if they needed, such as the
All right,
case
well,
of
let's read
debt.
it. It's in verse
Yeah, read it.
39 of
But read it.
Leviticus 25. It says, "If any who are dependent on you become so impoverished that they sell themselves to you, you shall not make them serve as slaves. They shall remain with you as hired or bound laborers."
Are you reading 39 through 40?
Yeah,
Can you put it on the screen?
I can't put it on the screen, but do you have a Bible?
Yeah, I have a Bible. You said that it
Well, just
doesn't. He said, yeah, you said that it
yeah. It
doesn't.
says,
But
"If any
what
who
I
are
was
dependent
saying,
on you become so
allow me to
impoverished that they
finish.
sell themselves to you, you shall not make them serve as slaves.
Verse 40.
They shall remain with you as hired or bound laborers,
Right. So the law permitted Israelites to sell themselves into slavery by other
not
Israelites
as
if needed.
slaves,
But
not as slaves."
are you going to allow me to finish? So in the case of debt, but every 70 years they were to be set free according to Exodus chapter 21, verse 2.
Yep.
So they had basic rights and they were,
They didn't have basic rights. They had
ruthlessly,
a right to be turned loose after 7 years.
they had basic rights. And if a
Oh
slave
yeah.
was released and the slave owner was not supposed to send them off empty-handed, according to Deuteronomy chapter 15. Right.
It's
But
amazing how you
forced,
got to jump
but
around to get to the
forced,
parts you want to get to.
but forced slavery, such as kidnapping someone and selling them to another, that is prohibited. For example, in
Yeah, it just
Exodus
says you
chapter
can't
21,
kidnap people and make
yeah,
them slaves. Yeah,
Exodus 21, verse 16 says, anyone who kidnaps
unless you
someone
go to
is
war,
to be
though,
put
right?
to
You can take women and
on the
children
life
as
net.
captives in war. Is that
No,
kidnapping
Exodus chapter
somebody?
21. You said what?
In Deuteronomy, it says you can take women and children as war captives after you put all the males to the sword. Is that kidnapping people?
No,
It's not. So if I grab
no.
women and children and forcibly make them become my slaves, that's not kidnapping them.
Do you know what kidnapping is?
Yeah, tell us the difference.
No. So in Deuteronomy, the text you're butchering is Deuteronomy chapter 21, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
That's the
Deuteronomy
text
20,
you're
but yeah.
admitting. Yeah, Deuteronomy
20,
21.
20.
Yeah, you're talking about the war captives.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah,
difference
that's not
in snatching women and children and making them slaves in war and just grabbing somebody when it's not in war? What's
because
the
that's a
difference? The
distinct
war?
legal category. That's not equivalent to kidnapping Laws govern them to operate
How is
within
it not
the ancient.
equivalent to kidnapping when someone is forced to become your slave?
I was trying to explain that, but then you cut me off because there's
Go
actual
ahead.
legal context. Awesome.
Is there?
So the Hebrew Bible uses different verbs in legal categories. For example, stealing, the Hebrew word for stealing a person in Deuteronomy 24:7, that is a capital crime. That is not the same word that's used for taking captive in war that's regulated under war law. So those aren't interchangeable. War captives are not kidnapped. What the heck? Even today, war captives are not, quote, kidnapped, unquote.
What is
They're
taking
taken
someone
under.
against their will? I wonder.
Bro, you're not allowing me to finish.
Well, you're taking a long time and you're bullshitting anyway, so I
I'm
don't think
not.
so.
Even
We're talking
today, if
about
someone is a war
we're
captive,
talking about
it's
taking
not
women and
kidnapped.
children as slaves in war. They didn't come
You're
with you
saying
voluntarily.
women
You
and
fucking
children.
took them, didn't you?
You're saying women and children as if that makes what you're saying not a category error. That's still
Women
not.
and children are
Oh my
kidnapped.
gosh.
You are taking them against their
Oh,
will. That is
war
kidnapping them. They are
War
children, sir.
captives are.
Women and children.
You're not even allowing me to finish. War captives are governed by covenant boundaries. We're not talking about what you're the narrative that you're trying to paint. We're talking about covenant. Israel's war
Yeah, I know.
laws distinguished between Canaanite nations, which were Aram warfare, and distant nations, according to Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 10 through 15. Israelites protected, for example, by man stealing law and things like that. So war captives come only
You-
from non-Israelite populations.
So what's the
That's
difference? Listen,
that
I'm
is
just
the
asking you,
context.
what is the
You're
difference
not
between
allowing me
me
to finish.
kidnapping a man and me grabbing women and children against their
Oh
will?
my
What's the
gosh,
actual difference? Can you tell us
you're not
that,
al-
please?
you're not allowing me to different. You're not
Oh
allowing
my
me to
God.
speak. Go ahead and run away. That's fine.
You've talked a fucking lot. Could you answer the actual question I'm asking you? What is the difference between grabbing a man against his will and making him your slave and grabbing women and children against their will and making them your slave? What's the difference?
War captives and kidnaps are not. Kidnapping is not. Kidnapping is an
So what is
unlawful.
the difference?
I'm trying to explain to you.
Well,
Kidnapping
then
is an
actually explain it.
unlawful private. Oh my gosh. Kidnapping is an unlawful private seizure of a person. War captives are taken under public military action. Genius. They're not the same.
Finally,
Even
you said
today,
it.
they're not the same.
That's what I said right off the bat. I said,
That's
what's the
not what you
difference? The
said.
war?
Oh
And you
my
said
God. She
no.
still
And then
didn't
you're going to come out and
listen.
say it's the fucking war. Oh my God.
They're not the
Wow.
same. The
I know.
host is an
Oh my God.
idiot.
Do
He's
you
an
remember
idiot.
when I first asked you that question?
They're
What did I
still
say the difference?
they're
Did I
not the
say the difference
same.
was the war? Did I say the
They're
difference
not the
was the
same.
war?
No, that's not the only difference, dumbass.
Oh my God. You're a fucking liar. These motherfuckers, they just can't help themselves. Lies just dribble right out of the Christian mouth. They can't even fucking help it. Like, it's just, it's like Christian fucking nature. We just got to lie. We can't, like, what the fuck, man? Literally what I said, what is the difference? Was it the war? No, of course not. There's a legal difference. So what's the difference? Oh, the war. It was wartime. You fucking liars. Wow. Unbelievable, man. It really is unbelievable. There ain't no fucking honest bone in one of these motherfuckers' body. Let's see here. Who's next? Flynn, are you there?
Yeah, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. What's up, buddy? Are you a Christian?
Hey, listen, I'm 100% on your side. I'm gonna just make one sentence, and then I'm gonna leave you, my friend. That Negro you just had up was trying to make a distinction that was irrelevant. Was trying to suggest that merely having a particular act, an immoral act, governed by either military and or something else, makes the act itself different. And your point was the act is the fucking same thing. Whether you do it via a military campaign, or you just walk your ass over and grab the people. It's the same shit in terms of the results. But that
Thank you.
Negro had to attempt to distinguish it in such a way that in his mind, in that sick mind, it made a difference. It made no difference. Goodbye, man.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Flynn. I appreciate that. And yes, that was exactly my point. Sick motherfuckers. God damn. That's why I called him a liar, because I said what he was saying. Like, that's the only reason, like, because he told me no when I asked him the same thing. It's fucking wild, man. Wild out here. Yikes. Yeah, I read Exodus all the time. So if you were talking to me, that comment, I have no idea. Anyway. Anyway, the queue is empty. So what I am going to do is give it a couple minutes, and if we don't get somebody else to talk to, get my ass out of here. Oh man, it's rough out here, y'all. I need a large handful of ibuprofen now. Like, what the hell, man? Like, come on. What is wrong with people, for real? Oh, my goodness. It's not. Hey, buddy, are you there?
Yo, man, what's going on?
What's up, buddy? Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir. I was wondering if you knew anything about running a city or a country.
No, not really.
So you don't know anything about running a civilization?
Do you think I'm a king or some sort of economic
Well, I was
specialist?
wondering because you're talking about slavery and justice, but if you have
Yeah,
no
you don't have
idea
to know how to
about
run an empire to know that slavery is
servitude,
bad. I
if
mean,
you don't know
it
anything
should be
about the
obvious.
history of banking, if you have no knowledge about the history of debts or how
Okay,
servitude
so
works or how
history
other
of
countries
banks
work, this
means
is not just a
slavery
Christian.
has to be
This is
done.
not
Like,
just
what
a
are you talking
Christian
about?
concept, by the way. This was a huge pagan concept that a lot
Well,
of pagans
Christians
around the
picked it
world
up and ran with it. Then.
glorified. In fact, it took a lot of Christians to convert
Okay, so
pagans
do
to
you
stop this
disagree with
behavior.
my topic, or are you backing me up?
Well,
Which one?
I was
What's happening
trying
here?
to figure out, before we even engage, do you know how to run a country?
What difference does that make?
Okay. So obviously the answer is no. So you're like telling a doctor,
I've
don't
said
put
no
in
right off the
needles.
bat, so I don't know why you're
Well, I'm
continue to beating
asking,
a horse that
because
I've answered no right off the bat, yet you're still
well,
talking about it.
I mean, if I would give a perfect analogy, it's like you saying you're afraid of needles to the doctor, right? But you don't know if that needle is actually good for you. Depending on what's in the
Look, you're
syringe,
gonna have to
could
make
be
a
bad,
coherent
could
point,
be
man.
good.
This don't mean anything. Like, do you disagree that slavery's in the Bible or not?
Well, like I said, it could be good, it could be bad. What's in the syringe?
Is it good or bad? Which one do you think it is?
Do you know how to run a country? Are you a doctor?
Do you think slavery is good or bad?
Actually, I think that slavery is necessary.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that it's
Well,
your lack of understanding that
thanks
causes
for
you not
proving
to.
that Christianity is 100% pro fucking slavery. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Well, y'all heard it here once again. Christians think slavery is great. It's necessary, even.
Hey man, how you doing?
What's up, buddy? Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. So do you want to prove the prompt wrong or agree with me?
Well, before I address that, can I say something about something I listened to on a podcast not long ago? I heard that there are more slaves on planet Earth today than there ever has been before.
Possibly.
Especially in like the lithium trade, all the batteries that go in everything from our cars to our phone and everything like that. This guy, he was on Joe Rogan not long ago, and he went over there and he about got killed trying to get footage of it and stuff. But basically, there's people digging this lithium up, basically digging it up with their hands. They're barefoot, got babies on their hips, and living in squalor.
So, as a Christian, why can you say that's bad?
Well, I say it's bad because
I mean, as a Christian, as a decent human being, you can absolutely say it's bad and horrible. But as a Christian, you're in a little bit different position.
Well, in the Bible, you can say slavery is in the Bible, and there are instances of it in the Bible, but there's also instances of murder and things like that. The Bible is also, it's not just a holy living book, but it's in some ways a history book. So when it talks about the slaves and stuff like that, it's just
it talks about slaves, but it says you can own slaves. You can beat them. You can make them do what you want them to do because they're your money.
Are you talking about in Leviticus or Deuteronomy, somewhere like that? Is that where you're talking about?
It's in the entire Bible. Doesn't condemn slavery one time. Even Jesus tells a bunch of stories using slaves as examples.
Servants, yeah.
Yeah. No, slaves.
Well, a servant in the Bible is basically the same as a slave. I would
well,
say.
The word for slave can either mean servant or slave, but a servant isn't a slave. A slave is a slave, and a servant's a servant.
Yeah. I do know of parts in the Bible, I guess, where in the Old Testament, I can't say for sure that God condoned slavery. I know Jesus Christ didn't condone slavery.
Well, Jesus definitely did, and God definitely did.
Where would you read that Jesus condoned it?
Jesus said to keep the law in its entirety until heaven and earth pass away. And the law says you can own and beat slaves. And coupled with the fact that Jesus tells a whole bunch of stories using slaves as disgusting examples and never once bothers to say, oh, by the way, you shouldn't own or beat slaves ever, then I can only assume, and I think safely, that he is absolutely 100% pro-slavery.
Oh, well,
I mean, listen to the stories.
I wish I had more of a better argument.
Chapter 12, he says, in Luke chapter 12, Jesus says, the master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect him, and an hour that he does not know, and will cut him in pieces and put him with the unfaithful. That slave who knew what his master wanted but did not prepare himself or do what was wanted will receive a severe beating. But the one who did not know and did what deserved a beating will receive the light beating. From everyone to whom much has been given, much will be required, and the one whom has much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded. So he's talking about like the second coming, right? But I feel like that would have been a great opportunity for Jesus to pipe up and say, oh, by the way, I'm telling this story using a slave as an example, but you should never own or beat a slave. Never says anything like that.
Do you believe in God and Jesus?
No, I'm an atheist. I can't sign up for a pro-slavery religion, man.
And
not to mention, that's not even, to me, that's not even the worst part. It's really, really bad, but it's not even the worst part of the Bible anyway, and what God and Jesus do.
I used to think a lot like you a long time ago. Well, not that long ago, to be honest. I used to think, well, if there is God, then he's not truly love and all good and stuff. If he is, why does he do this? Why does he do that? I used to think like that, like you. But in the past 2 years, I changed my mind on it. And one of the things is that I just realized, I'm not God and I can't see the big picture. And so
you don't need to endorse slavery to see a big picture.
Well, I don't agree with you that Jesus endorsed slavery. Slavery, us humans,
well, then give me a reason to think he's against it. Show me anything anywhere in this entire gigantic book of a Bible where Jesus suggests that owning a slave is even sort of negative.
Well, he didn't own slaves. Jesus didn't have no slaves.
Well, that's because he was poor and he thought the world was about to end.
And also, I would say that in the vast majority of history, yes, there have been Christians who owned slaves, but also Christians stopped slavery.
Yeah, but Christians stopped other Christians from owning slaves against the Bible. They went against God to end slavery.
I don't know. I can't agree with you on that, man.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't. Here, hold on a second. I'll put something on the screen real quick. If I can find it. Is this it? Yeah. So this is what Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, said in public addresses during the Civil War. Let the gentleman go to Revelation to learn the decree of God. Let him go to the Bible. I said that slavery was sanctioned in the Bible, authorized, regulated, and recognized from Genesis to Revelation. Slavery existed in the earliest ages and from among the chosen people of God. And in Revelation we are told that it will exist until the end of time shall come. You find it in the Old and New Testaments, in the prophecies, the Psalms, the epistles of Paul. You find it recognized and sanctioned everywhere. That was Jefferson Davis himself. So was he wrong?
Well, in a way, I guess he's right in some sense of a manner, because there is still slavery today, and it probably will be here forever. But it ain't God's doing. It's our doing. It's doing out of our own sin.
Well, you're doing. It's not a sin. How is it a sin to own a slave if God says you can own a slave? It would be a sin if God said don't own a slave and you did. But you're just following God's orders. It doesn't condemn slavery.
I don't think God told everybody to have slaves.
Well, he did. He said if you want one, you can have them. He never once says it's a sin to own a slave. He never says it's a sin to beat a slave. Or fuck them. Bad as that sounds to say. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to combine God and Jesus into this question, into one question, okay? Assume for a second that I owned a slave. And the slave come in from plowing the field all day, like I told him to. And when he comes in the door, I say, hey, slave, put on your apron and serve me at my dinner table while I eat and drink. And when you're done, you can eat and drink. And he says, no, I'm tired from working in the field all day. I'm not doing that. So in response to him denying me to serve me, I take my rod and I beat him bloody with it. Would that be a sin in the eyes of God?
Yeah.
It's not.
Is it where you
God literally says you can own a slave, and that little story I told was literally a story Jesus tells in Luke chapter 17. Jesus literally said those things. Put on your apron and serve me while I eat and drink. And after I'm done, you may eat and drink.
Yeah, but Jesus was the exact opposite of that. He would actually
then
serve.
Why is he telling that story?
Well, he's trying, like in all the parables, he's trying to get a certain meaning across, and he's using back in that day what would have been things that would happen in a modern day. He's using those as examples so that people will understand.
He's using a slave as an example, exactly.
Because people had slaves back then.
Yeah, I know. Weird, Jesus didn't say, hey, all that sinning y'all doing, you need to stop. But all the slavery that's going on, that's fine. Keep doing that.
Well,
I mean, Jesus' whole message was you better turn to the law and get right with God right now because the end is coming quick. And it's awfully strange that while he's trying to tell people to quit sinning and get right with God, he doesn't mention that, getting rid of your slaves is helping you do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go. I'll hop off here so you can make room for someone else.
No worries, Chris.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah, thanks. Really think about it, man. Please. I implore you. Give it some serious consideration. Don't be too hard on Chris. He wasn't that bad. He wasn't Blue Jay. That's for fucking sure. All right. You're not loading in for some reason. If that was on purpose, grab some Wi-Fi or better signal and come back there. Oh boy. All right. I was about to reset the clock. Never mind though. Izzy came back.
Hello?
I can see you there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you a Christian, Issy?
I am, yeah.
Cool. So do you want to approve the prompt wrong?
Yeah, so I feel like I would do better to see like where you're seeing your proof, so then I can like go through those and see first. If you have anything you want to touch on first.
You mean like Bible verses?
Yeah. Like things that have led you to your assumption.
Yeah. Leviticus 25, it says, "As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from the aliens residing with you, and from their families who are with you who have been born into your land, and they may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness." And in Exodus 21, it says, "When you buy a male Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, but in the 7th year he shall go out free without debt, unless you give him a wife and a children who he wants to remain with. And then you can pierce his ear, and he can be your slave for life." Isn't that great? And it says, "When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master who designated for her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt unfairly with her." So God is literally permitting in law that you can deal unfairly with women who are sold as slaves.
Okay. So my understanding has always been, as I read it, because I wasn't always a Christian. My understanding has always been that in those things, in those laws, he's accounting for the social stances that have already been put up, and saying, as Christians, obey your masters, because he commands us to do those things of like living humble and meek lives. And so for his people, I have always been taught that he's actually saying this doesn't make it okay, but in that we still live humble, meek lives, and you're going to serve them, because either way.
Wait a minute. When God says you can own a slave, why is it not okay to own a slave?
Hold on. Can you send me, so I can, not send me, can you tell me the actual Leviticus what?
Leviticus 25, verse 44 through 46.
25.
But yeah, if God or Jesus weren't okay with owning slaves, then why would they tell you that you can in fact own slaves? If they weren't okay with it, I would assume they would say, hey, you can't own slaves.
25, 18. Okay. Through, what did you say? Through what?
44 through 46.
Oh, 44 through 46. Okay. The law concerning slavery. If one of your brethren who dwells by you becomes poor and sells himself to you, you shall not compel him to serve as a slave. At verse 39. If one of your brethren who dwells by you becomes poor and sells himself to you, you shall not compel him to serve as a slave. As a hired servant and a sojourner, he shall be with you, and shall serve you until the year of Jubilee. And then he shall depart from you, and he and his children with him, and shall return to his own family. He shall return to the possession of his fathers, for they are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as slaves. You shall not rule over him with rigor, but you shall fear your God. And as for your male and female slaves whom you may have from the nations that are around you, from them you may buy male and female slaves. Moreover, you may buy the children of the strangers who dwell
That's a
among
good
you, and their
translation.
families.
What translation are you reading?
It's New King James.
New King James. Damn, good job.
So what I'm seeing here is that he first says how you're supposed to deal with your slaves, and then you're to let them go and be free because
Well, that's for other male Hebrew Israelites. And then it goes on in 44 to say, as for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. And then that last verse in 46, it says, they shall be your permanent slaves. It says you can treat them like a slave, but as regarding your brethren, the children of Israel, you shall not rule over another with rigor. So it's literally saying you can treat everybody else like slaves, but not Israelites.
Okay, let me keep reading. Okay, now verse 47. Now if a sojourner or a stranger close to you becomes
that's a different one there. You don't have to read that. That's about buying back Israelites that have been sold to foreigners. It's just the right to buy back an Israelite. But the money shot we're talking about here is chattel slavery, endorsed in 44 through 46.
See, but this to me, I'm reading, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I think it's important to read everything. It says,
Well, it is, and you read it all. You read 39 through 46. That's the relevant to what we're talking about. 47 through 49 or 50 just talks about buying back a Hebrew that's been sold to a foreigner in the land.
mine doesn't say Hebrew, though. Mine says, sojourner or stranger close to you becomes rich. One of your brethren who knows about him becomes poor, sells himself to
Yeah,
the stranger.
brethren are the Israelites. That's your brethren.
Redeemed again, one of his brothers.
Yeah, that's just talking about buying back one of your brethren. If a sojourner has purchased them, you have the right to buy them back. But verse 44 through 46 is quite explicit in where you can acquire permanent slaves and who you can treat like a slave. And that's anybody but brethren.
Okay, well then can I bring, because I don't want to say that I can't prove that part wrong, but then can I bring us to the New Testament? I know that...
Well, I mean, how would the New Testament disregard what God allows in Leviticus?
Okay, I'm just making sure that you want me to answer that.
Yeah.
So, do you know about the whole reason that Jesus comes down to earth?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jesus came down to redefine the law, right? So the New Testament is when Jesus came down.
I thought he came down to die for everybody's sins.
He came down to do all of it. He fulfilled the law, and the law was a part of that. The prophecy was a part of that.
Gotcha. Well, fulfilling the law means keeping it, not making it go away.
No, it means finishing it, putting
No, it
clarity to everything.
No, if the law says stop at the stop sign and you stop at the stop sign, you have fulfilled the law.
But not.
That doesn't mean it went away. It means you did what it told you to do. Huh?
Not in what Jesus is saying. What he's saying
That's
is
exactly what Jesus is saying.
And he gave us a new commandment. And the new commandment is love one another above all else. And he also says that it's no longer just the chosen people who are to have the favor in God's eyes. It's actually Jews and Gentiles alike. So now, as Jews and Gentiles alike, your number one commandment is to love one another above all else. Right?
And that's a new command that Jesus gave.
Right, to fulfill the law.
Well, that's weird. That's in Leviticus, the same as the slavery law we just read.
What do you mean?
It's a law in Leviticus. It's not new. That's why I'm saying you said Jesus gave a new command. Love your neighbor as yourself. But that's not new.
No,
it's
not
Levitic
love
law.
your neighbor as yourself. He said, okay, it's actually in John. Let me look it up. I think it's in John 15. Let me grab it. John. Sorry, mine's paper, so I can't grab it as quick.
That's all right.
All right, let me see. Maybe it's 14.
You know what else says? Jesus says in John, he says, if you love me, you'll keep all my commandments.
But he says the greatest one among this is to love one another. Because
he says, Levitic law.
He says in loving one another, you fulfill the rest of the commandments of not cheating, not stealing, not coveting, not all of those things.
Fulfilling doesn't mean they went away, does it? He's saying by doing this, you're fulfilling all of this. It means you're keeping these by doing this, right? There you go. That's what fulfill means. It means to keep it. Not to mention in Leviticus chapter 19, it says, you shall not hate in your heart any one of your kin. You shall reprove your neighbor, or you will incur guilt yourself. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against any of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So that's not a new command. That's Levitic law.
Right, but then how you're saying that it only referred to the chosen people, right? The people of the...
Yeah, that's what it says.
So now when you go to the New Testament, Jesus talks about how it's Jews and Gentiles alike. No longer are you saved by the fact that you are from the Abrahamic lineage. You're saved because you believe in him and you follow him all the days of your life. So it doesn't matter if you're Jewish and you're the chosen people. It doesn't matter if you're anything other than
It does
Jewish.
matter because God's love doesn't reside in those people. Your love
No,
is
he's
for
saying
brothers
that
and
it is
sisters,
residing.
those in the light.
No, he's saying that it is residing and that it is Gentiles and Jews alike. Gentiles
Really,
meaning
because in John it
anybody
says,
other
do
than
not
Jews.
love the world or the things in the world. The love of the Father is not in those who love the world. For all that is in the world, the desire of the flesh, the desire of the eyes, and the pride of the riches comes not from the Father, but from the world. And in the world and its desire are passing away. But those who do the will of God abides forever. And the will of God is for you to keep his commands.
The world isn't people who aren't Jews. The world is sinful nature and temptation.
Yeah, saying now that Christ has come, you're either a brother or sister in Christ, or you are in the darkness. You are blind, and you are not in the love of grace of God.
And how do you become a brother or sister in Christ?
By keeping the Lord's commands.
No, by believing first in him. He's saying that if you
Beloved,
first believe...
I'm writing you with no new commandment, but an old commandment that you have had from the beginning. The commandment is the word that you have heard. Yet I am writing you with a new commandment that is true in him and in you, because the darkness is passing away and the true light is shining. So that's literally telling you the new command is not actually a new command, it's an old command, right?
So read it again.
All right. It says, Beloved, I am writing you with no new commandment, but an old commandment that you have had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word that you have heard. Yet I am writing you a new commandment that is true in him and in you, because the darkness is passing away and the true light is already shining.
And what is the new commandment that he's writing in him and in us?
I'm going to keep reading it.
Yeah, because it
says,
says, I'm writing you a new commandment.
Yep, exactly. Whoever says, I am in the light, while hating a brother or sister, is still in the darkness. Whoever loves a brother or sister in the light, and in such a person there is no cause for stumbling. Remember what the command was? Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
So it's an old command. It's not actually a new one. And it's clearly defining also who those are, and it's not everybody.
It's everybody who believes in him. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So if anybody like me, non-believers, we're worthless. God's love does not reside in us. We are in the darkness, and you are in the light.
Hey, that's not true.
It is true. That's what it says.
No. It's not true that he doesn't love you. It's true that you won't inherit the kingdom.
I'll read it again. It says, do not love the world or the things in the world. The love of the Father is not in those who love the world.
I heard you. Can I speak to you? Yeah. It said it's not in those, meaning you can't love others like Christ loves people. Okay, but let me finish, please. That's what that means. Okay, moving on though.
The love of the Father is not in those who love the world.
Yeah, is not in those. That means
the love of the Father is not in the ones who love the world, the ones in the dark.
Yeah, I know what it means. Can I re-explain it to you? It doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. It means his love, his type of love, you cannot then give to others, right? If you don't believe in Christ,
it says his love is not in you. It does not say your love cannot be given to others. It says the love of the Father is not in you.
Yeah, so as Christians, you believe that once you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, he can enter your heart. That's the whole reason he died. He sent his spirit in us so that we can love others the way he loved us. So his love is now in us to share with the world. But I want to go back a little bit. You should not think that the Lord, that God does not love you. He does, but there's a difference between us accepting his love and us denying his love. So in accepting his love, we're saying that he is God, he is all powerful, he's all knowing, he's loving. But in order for us to accept that gift, we have to accept the fact that he sent his son down to die for us on the cross for our sins, to defeat death, which is what we deserve when we become sinners and we have a hardened heart towards him. So
why do you deserve death for being a sinner?
Because, I'm sure you sound really, really educated. So I'm sure you know the story in Genesis, right?
What does that have to do with? Yeah,
it has to do with this. So in Genesis, God created Adam and Eve. The world was perfect, without void. Everything was holy, right? And then the serpent came down. I think it might have been in around chapter 17. The serpent came down, which is Lucifer, who had already fallen, and he was trying to say to Adam and Eve, oh, the one fruit that he told you not to eat from, he actually said that because he didn't want you to be basically God. So Adam and Eve ate from the fruit, and that gave them the knowledge of good and evil, where they could now see all of the evil things and the temptings and everything else. Excuse me.
So is he who lied in that story?
The serpent.
What was the lie that the serpent told?
He doesn't want you to be him, basically.
That's not what the serpent said.
Okay, what did the serpent say?
The serpent said, "You will not surely unalive, for God knows that in the day you eat of the fruit, you will have the knowledge of good and evil."
Like
Right?
him.
You will be
Yeah.
like gods. That's right.
Like God, yeah.
He didn't say anything about he doesn't want you to be like gods. He just said, like, you won't
Well, the reason
unalive.
he didn't want
So
them to
wait. So what happened? Was that true? Did they have their eyes open and were they like gods?
they had their eyes open and they had a lot of the knowledge of, well, they had the knowledge of good and evil, as the tree was called,
So
which is what God had.
so that was true.
What part was true?
What I just said, that when they
No,
ate the
what you're
fruit.
reading is true, but you're reading it like you're misunderstanding it.
So the serpent, let's say the serpent said, when you eat the fruit, you will get a Kit Kat bar. And they ate the fruit and they got a Kit Kat bar. Would the serpent
Oh,
have
you're
told the
saying
truth?
surely not die. Okay, I understand. Sorry, I just misunderstood. So, remember how we said, okay, the wages of sin is death, right? Jesus died, which is what you deserve when you become a sinner. When you
Do you
have
see
the
what's on the
knowledge,
screen right now?
and the bonus we have in here is that if you're asking anyone,
What does verse 17 on the screen say right now?
all wrongdoing is sin, but there is sin that is not deadly.
Oh, wow. So the wages of all sin isn't death, is it?
No, the wages of all sin is death. There's literally a direct
Okay,
scripture
read
that
that
says
one
the
more time
wages
for
of
me
sin
there.
is death. All wrongdoing is sin. There is sin that is not deadly. This doesn't mean that the punishment isn't death. This means, well, I would assume that this means that there is sin that, like murdering, that leads to someone physically dying.
If I were to tell you that the phrase that's used in both Genesis 2 and Genesis 3, you will in fact die, is a physical death, like an immediate physical death, what would that mean to you?
Can I have the context?
The context that we've been talking about, Genesis 2 and 3, when God says you will surely unalive, that means that you would die physically right then.
No, that's what I'm trying to explain.
What if I told you that's what the Hebrew means?
Like the Hebrew translation?
No, the original Hebrew text that the story is written in, that's what that phrase means. You will physically unalive immediately. That's what that phrase means.
I would have to disagree with you because there's a
I
difference.
know. I want you to engage with the hypothetical for a second. If I told you, yes, that's what it means, and you were like, oh my gosh, look, it does mean that, what would that mean to you? Would that change the meaning of the story for you?
Yeah, it would.
Okay, how? How would it change the meaning of the story?
Because there's difference between spiritual death and physical death, right?
Listen carefully to my question. Let me, sorry, that's not fair. Let me be more precise with my question. Who would have lied then?
Well, if you're telling me that's exactly what I'm reading, then, well, okay, you're saying God is saying you will surely not die, or you're saying the serpent is.
So God says God says, when you eat this fruit, you will immediately die.
Mm-hmm.
The serpent says, no, you won't immediately die. Instead, your eyes will be open and you'll be like God. Who lied?
The serpent lied.
Okay. Under the hypothetical where you agree with me that the phrase, you will surely die, means you will physically die right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who lied?
God.
Okay. That's what the Hebrew phrase means.
But it's not, Because
It is 100%. Now, you don't have to believe me, but I would encourage you to go do some research. That's what the phrase means. That's why it's an interpretive problem. That's why it's an interpretive crux, right? Now, there are scholars that hold to, for example, that even though that's what it means, that you will, in fact, unalive, that God just had mercy on them and didn't unalive them as punishment. He just had mercy on them and didn't kill them, right? But that's what that phrase means. That's why it's an interpretive problem.
But there's two different types of death. There's
There aren't.
spiritual.
There's not.
No, I'm telling
Go
you.
ahead and okay. Demonstrate to me the spiritual death from the Hebrew Bible. Go ahead.
So there's the spiritual death versus the
I know that's what you're
physical
saying.
death.
I want you to demonstrate it to me. Go ahead. In the Hebrew Bible,
Okay,
show me where there's spiritual
if
death. Go
I'm
ahead.
a sinner.
No. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have to say, here in this book of the Hebrew Bible, or here in this passage in the Old Testament.
Sorry,
That's
by
what you're going to need
Hebrew
to start
Bible,
with.
do you just mean the Old Testament?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my Bible then.
Yeah, show us anything that uses the word spiritual death or a word in Hebrew that means a spiritual death. We'll
I
accept
couldn't
either
tell you a
one.
word in Hebrew that means because I don't.
I'll take a context. Any
Yeah, I mean,
context that
anything.
means spiritual death.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my Bible again.
Now, you're not just going to like aimlessly flip through and look for something, right? Because that's what I did when I sat for my ordination. They asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to. And so I was just like aimlessly flipping through the New Testament.
No, I
And
haven't read my Bible.
they asked me that after about 30 seconds. They were like, are you looking for a specific thing? Or are you just hoping that like something's going to pop off the page? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hoping something's going to pop off the page.
I'm flipping frantically.
Well, I would assume. Are you a Christian? Wait, who am I talking? Joshua?
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
No.
He's a
No.
PhD Hebrew Bible scholar, so he's written books on this.
I was a Christian for 25, 26 years.
Okay, hold on. You want it specifically just from the Old Testament?
Well, that's so the way that this works is there are two things that are what I would say are like competing views, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me give an analogy. I use this one a lot. There is a cult down in Mexico, and it's led by a guy who took his group and went down to Mexico, and he teaches that he is Jesus reincarnated. He's also like King Arthur reincarnated. Anyway, and of course, you and I would say that's a bunch of nonsense, right? I would think you would say that's a bunch of nonsense. And when you ask him for proof, one of the things that he will say is, well, there's a prophecy about him in the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, that's super interesting. I had a debate with one of his spokespeople years ago. And he said, yeah, look, Exodus 19:1. I was like, okay, that's a bizarre place to go. And it says, look, God is speaking, and he says, I brought you out of Egypt. I bore you up on eagle's wings. And it was like this mic drop moment for this guy. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, what is on the flag of Mexico?
An eagle.
I was like, an eagle? And he goes, see, it's a prophecy. That's about Lord Rael, their cult leader. Now, if you like adopt their interpretive framework, if you like do an internal critique of what it is that they believe, then yeah, Exodus 19:1 is about this goofball, Lord Rael, right? Because that's what they believe. That's their interpretive framework.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I would know that Exodus 19:1 has precisely fuck all to do with Lord Rael, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between what they believe and their in their interpretation of this set of texts and what the text meant in their original context. I know that you go to Romans 5:12 to interpret Genesis 2 and 3. I get that, right?
Yeah,
what I'm asking you for
it.
right. how would you, for someone that doesn't take Romans 5:12 to authoritatively interpret Genesis 2 and 3, how would you say, but in its original context, this phrase moth tamut means a spiritual death? How would you do that?
I guess you wouldn't, but doesn't that also like go on to the stance of God doesn't necessarily tell, like, so right, this is from a Christian belief. God doesn't necessarily give every phrase clarity, but when it gets defined, it like comes full circle, right? So you know how you said you refer to Romans 5 to go back and define Genesis 2 and 3. You like, isn't that the whole point of both the Old and New Testament, is that Jesus, the living God, came down and became personal and lived the same
Right.
experiences?
No,
And
I
one
get
of the
it.
things,
I get it. So now let me do you one better. See this Facebook post on Lord Rael's Facebook page? It quotes Exodus 19:1 and shows how it's a fulfillment of prophecy when they moved down to Mexico. Doesn't that prove that that's what Exodus 19:1 is about?
is this, what's his name, Rael?
Yeah, Rael.
Is he performing the same miracles of God
Yeah,
that Jesus
absolutely.
was?
Absolutely. You ask his followers, 100%.
But it was more than his followers that saw the miracles.
Oh yeah, but I mean like it's clear if you read the sacred writings on Facebook, like you'll see it. You will be convinced. And if you're not, it's because the Lord of this world is blinding you. Do you see how you wouldn't buy that?
Right.
Thank
I'm
God you
not
wouldn't
I'm
buy
not
that,
seeing the
right?
correlation, but
You're not. Okay.
Wow.
because okay, well my
Are you
thought is
blind? Are you in darkness?
no. So my thing is like with Jesus, like people who didn't believe in him, who didn't want to believe in him, saw these miracles. The Jews
How
that
do
sent him
how do
to,
you know that?
because there's more than just the scriptures of the
Well, you know, a
Bible.
bunch of people saw Lord Rael doing this too, right? There's witnesses that are alive today that you can
But
talk to right now that will tell you
Right
from their
now.
own mouth what they saw.
Yeah,
are they
people that
followers of
didn't
him?
believe. Yeah, they are. And they weren't when they saw the miracles. They didn't believe in him, and now they do. They were convinced by them.
Obviously, they moved to Mexico.
Well, then that's a different faith question.
It is, right. It's a faith question. But that's not, you're not going to go, oh my goodness, like Susie and Frank, they were like attorneys in Los Angeles and they saw the miracles on Facebook and, and, you know, and now they're in Baja and they believe in Lord Rael. My God, this must be real, right? You're not going to do that. That's not going to be sufficient. I mean, I hope that's not going to be sufficient for you.
Well, no, I believe in Christ, but
Right. Right.
okay. So is this becoming a debunking of faith? Because I mean I know that my faith isn't going to be debunked in a TikTok.
No, look, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to
Oh
say,
shit.
what?
Oh, I was just gonna. Crystal brought up a great point. Listen to this. This is from James 2:26. It says, "Just as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is also dead." So you can't even have a body without a spirit. If the spirit died, the body would have died too.
Yeah, what?
You don't get that?
The Holy Spirit. Yeah, if you don't have a spirit, how are you
Even if
supposed
the
to be
Hebrew
alive?
Bible would have meant spiritual death, if you would have showed us that, either way, it still means physical death, is what that is saying. A body can't live without a spirit.
When I think of spiritual death, I think of eternity in hell versus in heaven. Because if I live a life as a sinner, then I have, been with spiritual death, because when I physically die, my soul isn't gonna live forever. It's gonna die in hell. That's what I
I,
think of when
I
there's
think
spiritual death.
So here's my, and I can drop down. I appreciate the conversation. But here's what I would encourage you to do. So that you can understand what I'm trying to get at here. Go pick up a commentary on Genesis. There's a new one out, came out 2 years ago, I think. It's a phenomenal commentary. A friend of mine, Ron Hendel, out of Berkeley, and it's in the Anchor Yale Bible Commentary series, Genesis 1 through 11. It's a great work. And just read through the section that we're talking about here in Genesis 2 and 3
It's by who?
and see what he
Ron?
says about it. Ron Hendel, Hendel, Hendel.
Okay.
And I think he gives a really fair and balanced analysis of it, but there are basically two positions that scholars hold to here on this. One is that Yahweh lied, and it's an ancient Near Eastern motif that you see, that they didn't view Yahweh lying there as an immoral thing. He was trying to protect the humans. So by lying, we have other good parallels to this and like Akkadian stories. Or the one that I said before, that Yahweh did obviously mean that you will unalive the day that you do this, like when you do this, but that he said, I'm not going to enact that full judicial punishment. Instead, I'm going to have mercy on them. So it was like an act of grace or mercy for not, in order to not unalive them.
I see.
But none of those has anything to do with a spiritual death. What that view is a later interpretation of an ancient text, which is fine, but it's not something that you can substantiate from the text itself.
I see. Okay. Ron Hendel.
Awesome.
And by the way, the point we was making earlier when we was talking about the Mexico thing, the cult, is that you was literally doing the same thing in Christianity with Jesus as we was talking about with Lord Rael.
Yeah.
That was the point there, by the way.
I see. I just feel like, okay.
It's like some dudes in a book said they saw Jesus do this stuff, and they were convinced. Some dudes in Mexico that are still alive saw Lord Rael do some stuff and were convinced. So, I mean, it's worse for Jesus because there's not a living eyewitness. That's the whole point of that. But even if there was an alive eyewitness, it still doesn't really make a difference.
Okay. Gonna have to disagree with you on that one, but I hear your point.
Why would you disagree?
Well, we could talk for hours, but I think that you don't want to be convinced.
Can I ask you just one more question? Sorry, I said I was going to leave, and then I'm not, because I'm a terrible person.
Ahead,
sorry about that. I was curious because there's a reason I actually came up initially. So it sounded like you were trying to create distance in your mind between God in the Old Testament and God in the New Testament. And I'm curious as to why. And what I mean by that is, like, according to your view of God, could God give, like, immoral commands in the Old Testament? Could he say, like, it's okay to do this atrocious thing in his law?
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm under. So you're saying?
Oh, sorry. Could he give a command that says, like, thou mayest, and he would have to say it in Old English like that. I'm just kidding. But like, thou mayest unalive thy neighbor every second Tuesday of the month for fun.
Could he? Yes, but there's a difference between, like, well, I guess there's not a difference, but you're looking at, would God's character do that? And I believe that it wouldn't.
Okay,
so you're saying there
seems
seems to be like a distance.
Sorry. I think you read way too much into that word could. Like, would he be an evil God if he said, thou mayest unalive thy neighbor for fun every second Tuesday of the month?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think that, given what you know about God, that his nature would allow him to do that?
Right.
Okay. So why is it that he can say, you may own other people as property and pass them on as inheritance to your children? Why does that not make him an evil God?
To be honest, I think that when it comes to like because what you're asking is a faith question of like distance between New Testament and Old Testament, right? Most people look at the two different characters where Jesus comes down and he's, definitely.
Can I just, I'm so sorry, Issy. You gave me a very quick, sure answer when I asked you about Schmurder. When I asked you about slavery, you didn't give me a quick,
I gave you a quick
sure
answer to
answer.
your hypothetical, but
Yeah.
when we're talking about what's actually written, I'm going to give you a little bit
Right. But
longer of
just
an answer.
entertain the hypothetical. So if like you and I both agree that the text doesn't say you may schmurder your neighbor for fun every second Tuesday of the month. We agree that the text doesn't say that. Let's assume hypothetically that the text said you may own other people as property and pass them on as inheritance. Would God be evil if he allowed that?
I think that it would be bad, yeah.
Okay. So now it actually does say that.
Right.
So why
So
don't you
as
think God is
continuing to
evil?
answer your question, because I was going to the same point, as this becomes a faith question, it's okay. Do you think, or I guess for me, it would be, am I reading this thinking that I don't understand, or am I reading this thinking I know everything, therefore I can judge that God is this, right? Because usually when I don't
Would you
understand
make the
something,
same argument about murder?
what'd you say?
Would you make the same argument about the murder part?
Well, Jesus says murdering is wrong. It's one of the 10 Commandments.
So that's just it. That's just murder is wrong, and that's all I got to say on that. But when it comes to slavery, we need this long faith-based diatribe.
Well,
Yeah, how
because
do
there's a
you know
lot.
that? But wait a minute. How do you know that you don't understand something about thou shalt not murder?
Because
Maybe there's something more that you don't understand that actually means that you can murder. Why don't you entertain that possibility?
Because murder is pretty straightforward.
Oh, slavery's not?
No, the
Owning people
sentence
as
on
property is
murder
not?
is very straightforward.
So let me tell you what the sentence is on slavery. As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may buy male and female slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents that are living in the land with you, and from their children that have been born to them in your land, and they will be your property. You may pass them on as inheritance to your children after you, and make them serve as slaves forever.
Right, but then directly before that, it says, this is why I'm saying that I don't
Issy.
Can you listen to what I have to say?
Well, okay, go ahead.
We've been
This is
over
why I'm
this
saying
already.
I don't know that it's black and white, and that's why I have more questions, because directly before that it says, well, if it's, if it's the Israelites, then, if you have them as slaves, don't treat them badly, lift them up, which is why I'm saying I
It
don't know that
doesn't
it's
say
black
that,
and white.
but
Yes, it does. We read it today.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't
We
say
read
that.
it.
Okay, I'm telling you, Issy, it doesn't say that. Now, if you want to argue with me and then have me read it to you, you can apologize to me for me being right and you being wrong and being sort of snobby about it. But just trust me, bruh. It doesn't say that.
Sorry,
Yeah, we went over this. We broke this down. It's saying if
and
a
the host, we
Hebrew
just
tries
read
to
it.
sell themselves to you, you can't make them serve as a
You
slave. And then in
can't make
44
them
it
serve
says
as a slave.
The slaves you
What
make
I
them.
just...
No, it's not what you said.
So, Issy, just answer straight up. Is it immoral to own people as property and to beat them?
I think so, yes.
Then how come you can't just say it's immoral when God says you can do that in the Bible?
Because, as I said before, it's a faith question, and
Why is slavery faith, but it's immoral, and murder is immoral, but it's not a faith-based question?
Well, it is faith-based, but as I said, it is one sentence that says, from the 10 Commandments, you shall not murder, right? So I can have questions about some verses and not questions about others, and this is one that I do have questions about. This is one that I do look at with more questions than just, oh, okay, and move on. Because if I were to read that and say, oh, okay, and move on, then it would be have slaves, which doesn't make sense.
That's what we're trying to get you to understand. You can do that with murder or rape or anything like that and just move right on. But when it comes to slavery, all of a sudden there's this faith-based holdup you need to get on, even though you know owning people as property and beating them is wrong. I don't know why you can't just condemn it like you can murder.
I can condemn slavery while still looking at why God says what he says. I still don't
God says
believe
you
in
can
it,
own
but that doesn't
slaves
mean I'm
and
not
beat
going to
them. If you
question
can
more
tell
of the
us that's immoral,
scriptures
then you have to
and
say
read
God is
more.
moral. Then God is moral for that, right?
I don't want to be quick to say God is immoral, but I can say the act is immoral. Because
God
again,
allows it.
if this is the God that I believe in, it would be kind of stupid for me to start saying, like, condemning things about him.
Well, it would be stupid. It would be honest.
Okay.
I mean, we've read it. As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you, you may acquire male and female slaves. He's openly saying you can get people and buy them and own them as property.
But see, this is why I'm saying there's more questions, because there's more verses than just that say don't have slaves. That say
no, there's none. There's not a single verse that says don't have slaves. Nowhere.
Okay,
it doesn't exist.
That's just incorrect. Okay.
Okay, well, show us the verse that says you can't have slaves.
I really have no more time, but I would encourage you to read John.
Oh, darn. All right. Well, if you don't have any more time, I guess you got to go. But it's just weird when that part comes up. All of a sudden, we're out of time. We got things to do. Anyway, thanks, Issy. Man, oh man. If I run out of guests, I'm leaving. What a jinx up there. Don't jinx me, y'all. Don't jinx me. Oh, I don't have to ask the age here. My life's set to 18 and over, so it's not I've relinquished the responsibility in the eyes of TikTok. I still do ask if they sound like strangely, but I don't have to, though. All right, so we are out of guests at the moment. Even though the queue, there's a bunch in there, somebody can show up. But, all right. So we'll give it a couple minutes. If we get another person to talk to, we'll get another person to talk to. If not, I'm going to go take some ibuprofen. Damn, it's been a lively live. A lively live. I guess that's the whole point of lively lives there. Yeah, Crystal made a awesome point earlier about James. Like, there's no such thing as a spiritual death without a physical death. That's a really good point. All right. Oh, hell yeah. Y'all, Durango Soul's going live here in a little bit, too, so make sure... Durango's in the comments. Y'all make sure you throw him a follow down there so we can support our homie and moderator here. All right. Oh, James. It was James 2. I think it was 26. It's just the last version, James 2. Here, I'll read it there. The tab was gone. 20. No, it is 26. Okay. James chapter 2, 26. For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is also dead. That's an awesome point. Of course, I don't know. I guess the metaphorical issue with Christians would arise on that one would be like, they're just saying you might be alive, but you're dead, which is patently absurd, obviously. But I guarantee you that's what's going to come out of their mouth there, though. You might be alive, but you're dead. It's funny. It's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it is funny. All right. We'll give it one more minute, y'all. One more minute to see if some more requests up. If not, I'm heading out. It's already been over 2 hours, though. So, it's been a good live. I feel good about it. But yeah, y'all make sure you follow Durango Soul there. He's doing a live here after a while. That's our homeboy. He's getting really good at Hebrew too, y'all. He knows his shit. That lady did shit. She was rather lax compared to most people we talked to. Yeah, I get it though. Yeah, definitely get it. I mean, just like, you saw it how it is. Like, there just ain't an honest. You just can't be honest with this text and hold your belief. So it like forces them into the position that they have to either sit here and like almost purposely misunderstand or just straight up lie about it. It's one of the two. But you can't be intellectually honest with these texts and what's happening and what it actually says. If words means words, it's over. This Christianity right here does not survive without lies. It doesn't happen. It can't. Trod, what's up, dog? If you're just coming in, you missed a rather lively live there. It was like it usually is. It miss anything. You missed that shit. Except another day, another repeated. Well, I guess I don't know. Anyway, guys, I don't think somebody else is going to request up in the next little second, so we are going to pull this one into the books today. We got over 2 hours by a good bit, which is cool. Mezzo was hanging out a little bit earlier. That's fucking awesome. I guess nobody saw, but I was on Mezzo the other day, and it was awesome. I don't hardly know anybody that actually seen it. It sucks. But it was awesome. It was awesome. The spirit was hilarious. Of course, there's somebody requesting up right now. Oh, never mind. It went away. But yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, I reckon I'm going to close this one out before somebody else requests back up and keeps me even longer. My headache's about built up for the day. But it was an awesome fucking show. It was lively as fuck. It was awesome. It kicked ass, I guess. You know, if you're into headaches and listening to people twist themselves into pretzels, it's as good a show as it gets. Shit. I mean, it was fantastic, right? Of course. Anyway, fuck MAGA and all that good shit. Y'all know how we roll. To close it out there, I'm going to pass it on a little early because I got to go to the bathroom, actually. But guys, much love to everybody. We will catch y'all on the morrow for another episode of Apostate 8. We'll be back tomorrow and stuff. So, all right. I keep missing the damn button here. All right. Much love, guys. Peace.